Shawn Cruz, TD Ameritrade trader, strategy manager. Shawn, what are you watching in these final moments of the week?
I think it's really an interesting trade playing out today, but what I've noticed is that you're really seeing value perform very well. And I think what's happening is a little bit more of an appetite for risk. Now that we've got the ECB coming out, easing, we got some pretty good data out of the U.S. here domestically, especially in that consumer sentiment report. So I think really what you're seeing is that trade into bonds that pushed yields so low was very crowded, got incredibly one-sided, and that trade is now getting unraveled right now, and you're seeing investors go in and maybe buy some of those unloved names, which is why you're seeing value perform so well, that really have been impacted, I'd say, negatively by a lot of this geopolitical overhang. But we've had so many positive developments this week, you're starting to see investors go back in there, and that's what's actually pushing the VIX so low as well. It's really telling you this is a risk-on move we're seeing today.
How much further has this yield increase got to go?
I think it's going to be very interesting to see if we can get one above 2% on the 10-year and then also maintain those levels, especially with the Fed coming up next week, largely expected to cut. I think what really is going to matter is what we hear from Chairman Powell after the Fed goes out there and presumably cuts those rates. Do we get enough of a dovish commentary out of him where maybe we do expect those rates to this isn't just an insurance cut, there may be a continuation of further rate cuts moving forward. And it'll be interesting to see how investors handle that if they do maybe flow out of those bonds and continue to seek more risk assets.
Shawn, when you talk about upside moves in unloved stocks, I mean, materials, best performing sector today, it's poised to end the week up more than 3% right now. How sustainable is that? And how much do things like these trade headlines, which seem to ping pong back and forth on a daily, if not hourly basis, affect that?
I think if you didn't really get, I'd say, China coming out there and extending that olive branch and that they're going to maybe start to dial back some of those measures that they've put in place, I think that's what really gave the market the optimism they needed to make the second leg higher. So as long as you continue to see a little bit of a dialing back, maybe not everything all at once, but you just want to see a little bit of a de-escalation, which is what we've gotten pretty consistently over the past week. That's what's allowed us to really make some of these highs and allowed some of these sectors that have been beat up as a result of a lot of these trade disputes, maybe make a little bit of a comeback this week. And that looks like when investors are going in and going risk on, they're trying to find those types of sectors, and it's really benefited a lot of those names this week.
Shawn Cruz, thanks for joining us.